Sorry. Part 3. Oh, for Thor's sake, hiccup, exploded Gobber. I take back what I said a moment ago. Have I taught you nothing? Vikings don't talk in silly foreign languages. They yell, hiccup. They yell. Gobber controlled himself with an effort. Oh, sit down, hiccup. It's not loud. Show pathetic hiccup how to perform this perfectly simple exercise. 2 seconds later, to great cheers of bravo from Gobber and the rest of the class, Snotloud had Waterhog in a baggy bum bear hug and was removing not only his money but also his helmet, his jacket and his trousers. Gobber put his hands on his hips, threw back his huge, hairy head until the horns on his helmet touched the wall behind him and shouted with laughter. You see, hiccup, he bellowed in between great guffaws. That's how to frighten a foreign... The door suddenly flew open. 2 enormous, masked kidnappers crashed into the room with yells that froze the blood and made the hairs on Hiccup's head stand up like the spines on a sea urchin. They were dressed in traditional bog burglar costume, but it was obvious to Hiccup that this was a couple of Roman soldiers in not a very good disguise. For starters, bog burglar soldiers were always women, but these were clearly big, hairy, muscly men in dresses with pig's bladders stuffed down their blouses instead of bosoms. The first kidnapper was holding a couple of double-headed axes the size of dinner plates, and he threw one of these as hard as he could in Gobber's direction. The axe flew through the air, missed Gobber's head by a hair's breadth, and pinned him to the wall by his beard. Ah! Gurgled Gobber, unable to move and gazing at the shining blade less than a centimetre from his nose. He who is moving, please, loses the head, and the dragons also, yelled the first kidnapper, speaking very badly in Norse. Norse is the language, that all Vikings speak. And he was swinging the other axe around his head. Not a boy or a dragon moved. Okie dokie, please, continued the first kidnapper in a quieter voice. Give us what we is wantings, and nobody she gets hurt. Which one of you lot is being the heir to the hairy hooligans? Everyone was silent. No make me get cross, please, warned the first kidnapper. You no like her when she's cross, said the second one, fingering his axe lovingly. Just tell me, who is being the heir to the hairy hooligans? I should make it clear that the heir is the person who inherits the father or the mother's status or power. The heir, so the heir to the throne of England, for instance, the heir to the throne of England is Prince Charles. Heir spelled H-E-I-R. The heir. So we know that Hiccup is the heir, don't we? His father is Stoic the Vast, the chieftain of the tribe. Nobody answered them, and now they started talking to each other in Latin. Okay, Marcus, the first kidnapper said to the second kidnapper. They're not telling, but the boss said the heir to the hairy hooligans is a weedy-looking kid. Which one is he then? The second kidnapper pointed at Hiccup. Well, it must be that one with the red hair, he said. Look at him, he's got arms like spaghetti. But what about the one with the face like a haddock? Objected the first kidnapper, indicating Fishlegs. That's got to be the weediest looking kid I've ever seen in my life. Oh, it's a toughie, said the second kidnapper. I think we have to take them both, just in case. Because if we get it wrong, the boss will be cross, and you know what he's like when he's cross. So the second kidnapper picked up both Hiccup and Fishlegs and put them over his shoulders. You must be doing countings to 1,000s before you is leaving this room, the first kidnapper warned the class of open-mouthed Viking boys, or we be killing these boys. You be telling your chief that big boobied Bertha sends her lovings and is giving you this letter. The kidnappers handed Waterhog a piece of paper that was addressed to Stoic. Excuse me, Gobber the Belch had turned purple in the face. He was still stuck to the wall by his beard with the kidnapper's axe. A beard was a hooligan's pride and joy. The redder, the hairier, the tanglier the better, as far as the hooligans were concerned. It was a terrible insult to lay so much as a finger on another Viking's beard, let alone pin him to the wall with it. Revenge, bellowed Gobber, trying to pull himself free from the axe, but only succeeding in tearing out pieces of his precious beard. Chief Stoic the Vast will declare a blood feud on the bog burglars when he hears you have stolen his heir and ruined my beard. These aren't bog burglars, warned Hiccup. Bog burglars are always women. These aren't women. Look, that one's bosom's just popped. These are Romans. Be sure and tell my father that. The first kidnapper clapped a large hand over Hiccup's mouth, but he didn't need to because Gobber wasn't listening to Hiccup anyway. He'd gone into a blood rage just like Stoic 10 minutes earlier. The bog burglars will rue the day they dared to mess with the beard of Gobber the Belch. Make no mistake, I'm going to see the chief about this. Yeah, you be doings that, grinned the first kidnapper, and the kidnappers left the room, taking Hiccup and Fish Legs with them. Okay, I shall stop there. See you tomorrow.